Hello and welcome back to Movies with Michael. Today I'm going to give you my thoughts and conclusions on Christian Bale as Batman. Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight Trilogy began in 2005 with Batman Begins, which gave us our first look at Bruce Wayne's origin story in live action. The film was met with critical and financial success universally. Christopher Nolan originally had no intention of there being sequels, but The Dark Knight was released in 2008. This film is widely considered one of the best, if not the best, the comic book genre has to offer. The conclusion to the trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises, released in 2012, is widely considered the least of the three, but it was still a very successful film. Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne, there's many different stages to his character. Of course, like the first time we see Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne, he is a college student bent on revenge, bent on avenging his parents' murders, but that quickly changes when he leaves Gotham and becomes a criminal himself. And then of course he joins the League of Shadows, seeking the means to fight injustice, and then when he returns back to Gotham to make sure nobody is suspicious about what he might be doing, he puts on this guise, quite over-the-top guise, I might say, of what people want to see or expect to see from a young CEO, billionaire, playboy. And then he doesn't really start getting serious as Bruce Wayne until The Dark Knight Rises, which I will say was interesting to see him not faking it, really. Like, he's more honest as Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight Rises. And by the end of that film, it's left up to the audience to decide what he chooses, whether he chooses to stay as Batman, or he leaves and becomes like a normal person again. Now, Christian Bale's Batman, there's nothing mysterious about it. We know all that's going on because his Batman, like his ideology as Batman, is set immediately against the ideology of the League. From his time with the League of Shadows, that's where he develops his code of no killing, which is directly contradictory to the absolutionist views of the League. Of course, after he defeats the League's leader, Ra's al Ghul, the effects that the League had on Gotham don't go away, and it eventually comes out in the form of the Joker. And the Joker pushes Batman to break his code of no killing when he, spoiler alert, pushes Harvey Dent off a ledge and kills him in order to save the life of Commissioner Gordon's son. The Dark Knight Rises, that is the third film, brings back the League of Shadows for one last strike at Gotham to annihilate it completely, literally, with Bane and Talia al Ghul, and Batman is in a full battle against them, and by the end of the film, Batman, ironically, he starts off his journey as Batman being the most wanted in Gotham, and then he becomes the leader that leads the police into battle against Bane's army. So that was very interesting to see that. And as stated before, Christopher Nolan ends The Dark Knight Rises as he would with most of his films, where he basically says to your face, you decide what the ending is. And that was a very good way to end that, I must say. So, this was, like, Christian Bale's Batman is a very definitive character, a very definitive portrayal of the character, especially with the emphasis on no killing, and the emphasis on, like, the ideology of Batman and the League and the Joker and so on and so forth. When we think of Batman, people my age or a bit older think of these films, the Dark Knight Trilogy. And since we have that in our heads, it's very difficult and uncomfortable to imagine Batman as any other way. I'll get into that when I talk about Ben Affleck as Batman next week. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and remember, the Batman, Robert Pattinson's debut as the Caped Crusader, is just a couple of weeks away from release. Be sure to stick around for my quick thoughts video on that. That's all for now, and I'll see you all next time.